Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome all. Are we live?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Welcome to another episode of Sisters in the Sandbox. We like to do what we always do is put our disclaimer out there, in which I will always say, and I've always abide by and welcome, that these are our views and our principles on the topic from our experiences. Do not hold it against us, but we welcome any type of feedback, good, bad, or indifferent. I don't know why mom's calling. Good, bad, or indifferent. Mm-hmm. And therefore, we just like to appreciate all the ones that's been with us thus far, who follow us, who looks back, rewind, whatever the case may have you. We appreciate y'all, all the viewers out there, in regards to the many topics that we choose to elaborate or expound on. So by all means, take the opportunity to chime in whenever you feel like it. And when we get a chance, we'll try to, read it off as, or as we're able to as we go throughout the podcast. So, on tonight, we're basically talking about the taboo of colorism within our community, and really it's among us women, truthfully. And not just women, but I believe that, wow, my sister is having,
Hold on.
Pause. One moment. We're going to pause for one moment.
We still on Facebook. YouTube. Hey, YouTubers.
Yes. Bear with us for one moment as we take care of the technical issues that's going on. For the ones that are on YouTube, welcome. We're just having technical difficulties. We want to try to get it right so we can at least read the comments.
Yes.
But to say the least, it still didn't turn it on thing. Did you lock the rotation?
No. You gotta go back down like you did before.
I did.
I think maybe we'll see it from our phones. But yes, we're basically talking about colorism within our community, and especially with us as far as Black women, because it is something that's actually out here. It kind of gets media attention. You see it sometimes on reality shows. Just in the celebrity, in the industry, the music industry, just the movie industry, a lot of people feel as if though when it comes to women, because my thing is always value who you are, is what I say. But there is
do that? No.
There is quite.
Go ahead.
Okay, there is quite a lot of things that we as women, I feel that we do to try to, I guess.
Thank you, Angel.
Yes, what she said?
Like the braids.
Try to, I guess, adhere to what the stigma is as far as what we should look like, how we should carry ourselves, what we should embrace, what we shouldn't embrace. And then I feel like it places us against one another. Mm-hmm. And to me, I feel like it's a disservice to us because it says a lot about self-esteem. And you have to know who you are and what you value and what you have to offer, your self-worth and your self-love. And my whole thing is we have to embrace who we are and the color of the skin that we in. And it's almost the same facet of racism, but it's a little bit different because it's talking about shade of color. And
go to YouTube for a second.
Can everybody go YouTube? He's like, what is going on? Drew was like, what is the problem?
One moment.
Okay, hold on.
Yes, and everybody in regards with that, those who are on YouTube, dealing with the different shades of our color. And the main thing we love to say is that we want to embrace everything about us. And that is what self-love is. You have to embrace who you are.
Is it?
There you go. You couldn't go on there live.
Mommy said, oh my goodness, people get it right.
Yeah. Okay. Move. Do it again. Go ahead.
Hey. Hey, Keisha. I'm sorry. She was trying to get right for the phone. Hey, Keisha.
My bad. I'm sorry.
Hey, everyone, again. Sorry for the technical difficulties, but hello and good evening again to all. And we're just going to jump right back and scooping it up in the sandbox. We apologize for the technical issues. And as with anything, we just adapt, move accordingly.
Exactly. Go with the flow.
But we're basically talking about, like I said, colorism. And it's talking about the shade of different colors. Basically, I feel like it's more prone again, with the women. And even the men and everybody experienced this. And I had wanted to just more or less break it down far as what colorism was. And it's basically, is.
Hey. Hey, everybody.
Yes. The shade of our colors. If I'm, a lot of people feel as if though the darker has or not as privileged as us lighter.
The darker
complexion is not as valued as us lighter. How can I say?
Dark skin tone. Say dark. Start, dark.
Yeah, but
tone.
Within our own community.
Yeah.
So we definitely want to get that straight.
And it's a demonstration. Okay. So it's a discrimination against individuals with a dark skin tone.
Yeah.
So it's within our community.
Exactly.
And the thing is, because I've seen people, like I said, dealing with the reality shows and different things of that nature, you have people who out here try to bleach their skin.
Right.
And people, because they want to fit the stigma of what society say they should look, because they feel as if though those of a lighter shade
have an
easy way to go. But that's what I'm saying. I think we're doing ourselves a disservice because you have to have self-love and know your worth and things, but it is out here and it is quite the taboo because then it's like they want to get into the point where they want to bleach their skin to become lighter or look lighter. Even to when they do like makeup. Sometimes I'm not going to say all. You see some darker skins want to go a lighter version and they're not matching their tone or embracing the shade of the color of their skin when it comes to us women. And then just within the work field alone, far as the privileges or the opportunities, they probably feel as if though they are labeled more, I don't know, I've seen where they say some of the darker ones are labeled like ratchet or aggressive. Yes, more aggressive and all that. Because see, to me, I feel like, just putting it out there, I'm browner than my two sisters. Now, if you sitting here right now with us three, hey guys, with us three, I'm the darker tone of the three of us. I'm the darker tone. And so if you put us in a room with other people that might be darker than myself, I feel it's a stereotypical thing. Like they can label us like, oh, they difficult.
We red bones. Well, that's what guys say.
Yeah, I had a lot of people call me red bone, but that's also dealing with different ethnics. Yeah, we have different ethnics within us that causes us to be red
I
bone.
see people every day that bleach their face, but not their neck.
Oh my God.
But that's
Curtis. I love chocolate. I also love big reds too.
Okay, Curtis.
All right. But that's the thing, though. How do you feel?
I don't know. I will say this, that you do have some males and some females in the community, in the Black community, that have preference. Like, say someone could be light skinned and they prefer to have light skin.
I like what Mr. Hendricks said. At the end of the day, the white man still calls us,
Yes. Thanks for joining us. Yes, and that'll be more into the racism. Yes, and we apologize for all of that. What's going on, ladies? Hi, Quentin. Don't say nothing out the way tonight now. Sorry. He came strong with it last week.
Oh, there go Trey. Let's not confuse colorism versus discrimination.
But colorism
the thing.
is a
Discrimination.
discrimination. It is a discrimination.
We stereotype in our own race.
Within our own race.
And can I say,
Yes.
I used to do
Very
it.
real.
I'm guilty. I used to do it.
Yeah,
I used to do it. I'm guilty
What do
of
you
it.
mean?
I used to do it. I thought, like with when my husband, because he's darker, and now I'm like this. Everybody, I used to discriminate. I thought,
What you mean?
high yellow is where it's at and it's cute and everything. But you know what I'm saying? So what is racism?
Oh,
racism is totally different.
yes, racism is different than colorism.
It's from a different race, not within the same race.
But we're saying that we stereotype our own color through our pigment line. Like some can be caramel, some can be hot chocolate, some can be milk chocolate, some can be dark chocolate.
You said black is beautiful, period.
Yes.
True, but us as our own
Hey,
within our
Dynamite.
community, hey Jay, what's within our own community sometimes make it harder because they feel as if those who are of a lighter shade gets more privileges. It's almost like go back into, I hate to say it, but go back into the slavery times where the lighter ones were in the house versus the darker skin tone was in the field. So,
honey, chocolate is where it's at.
What?
I'm just reading.
Complete the thought.
But it caused division. That's what I feel caused a division. But you still know that you hold the same value, the same self-worth. It's just that they were more privileged to more of the stuff that was going on in the home versus those that was out in the field. So
yeah, she said, honey, chocolate is where it's at. Darker the berry, sweeter the juice. We were in the house.
And that's the thing. And so sometimes it could cause division amongst our community, as if though they feel, they think they better than us.
Entitled.
Yes, and feel entitled because you could now think back in the day if you had people that was of a mixture race, because it's even easy for those that are mixed or biracial. It's
maybe
easy,
now, not back then though.
But say if they could pass, like
I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you about that movie. What's the movie where the girl passed off her color because
Queen? Imitation of Life.
Imitation of Life.
That too. Queen and
that is a prime example of using your color to gain
mom
means.
Was totally black.
And her mom was of a darker shade, yet she still was close with her how would we say that? I don't want to say master, but with her owner. We'll say it like that. But it's a prime example how she used the color of her skin to get past and use it as a privilege to be able to do what she wanted to do in life, which was she wanted to sing and all that. And they didn't know that she was of an African descendant.
He said, if she's spinning over brown, we can get down.
What? Oh, Lord Jesus. Lord, Jay. And then that's my whole thing. But then it calls us to disown. Hey, should I disown my African descendant because of me being just because I can get away with it? Like, let's be real. I ain't gonna hold you light skins and
very, very attractive. I got a fetish for light skin. But I'm not picky to who I date as far as the shade color.
But that's your preference.
But that's the thing. That's the other thing with the men. A lot of them are drawn to the light skin. It almost go with the hair too, like natural versus permed and whatever, and how they embrace it or whatever, whether it's relaxed. Yes, relaxed versus the perm, and especially if the person is of a darker tone and they embrace their natural hair and stuff. That's even more against them, because then it's like, oh, they're more problematic.
What do you mean against them? What do you mean?
They think that they're gonna be more of a troubled child, like that's the stereotype. That's what it says.
Because they go natural.
Because of them embracing their natural and they're of a darker skin tone, that they're going to be problematic. They're more opinionated. They're like the way.
I don't think that has anything to do with that.
But I'm saying the stigma, stereotyping.
Exactly. That's exactly.
But that's what I'm saying. You have to know who you are. So
she's not read.
What?
I'm dark in the summer and light.
Well, you know what? I'm a little lighter in the winter, like I'm now.
I think
but
all are.
But I'll get darker. Yeah, once the summer hit and the sun hits you. Yeah, okay. We all gonna have a tendency to be that way. But the thing is, trying to embrace our color.
Well, let me ask you this: Have you experienced have you experienced colorism? You yourself?
To per se, no, because I think I kind of had it. I've never had to encounter anything of such. Now I'll tell you a funny moment that has happened with me in regards to color. Okay. And that has to do with my own son. And you know how, he was in elementary. He was like 5th grade, 6th grade. And he was telling me, you know how you talk to your child about their day or whatever case may have you, and then leave it to my children. He said he was asked a question about what his color was. Mm. And he answered the teacher and said he's brown. Mm-hmm. So quite naturally, because I really didn't let them see color, but to respect, embrace who you are as a person. Let your personality speak for you. Right. So I started snickering to myself, and I was like, but you still black, son. I think she's asking you because it was during the African American history time, and she was just trying to get feedback. And she actually took the time out, and I asked him what did he say, because the teacher actually reached out to me. She said, "Oh, your son believes that he's brown. He's brown skin." She said, and I mean, it's not like he is brown skin, but he's still of African descendant. He's African American,
but he's brown.
Okay.
But he called himself brown.
Yeah,
church finger. I have some comments to read. Hey. Comments.
Hey guys.
Annie, you gotta take the other one.
Hey,
I'm gonna read. You gotta take. There's a couple of them before. I'm gonna take Trey's. Trey said, "How does colorism affect the Black community?" And I'm taking a class in this now. Really? Oh, touch and agree. But
okay. That's
can you the
how
other
does
comments
it affect the community?
Yeah.
Okay, so how about we try to address that best we can? Okay, so how does colorism affect our community? I will say this, Trey. I don't know if you watch Ratchet TV. Watch Ratchet TV.
Like your boo.
Basketball Wives is a prime example of that. Whereas,
because they got a loss. Because what's the name brought it to my attention too, and kind of wanted to talk about it was Tasha from Le Monde Boutique. Throwing it out there, putting that plug in about that. But I seen one that was on another reality where the woman was a rapper, and she, like I said, wanted to bleach her skin.
I know
who
that
is going to bleach.
She didn't, but she didn't. She's proud of who she was. She was doing it to actually, basically open up discussion about the colorism.
I was shocked. I was appalled by it.
I think Lil' Kim did. Well, anyway.
She just needs to stop.
Get into the comments because we done skipped some comments. Man, bump all that. I'm black all day. Light skin, brown skin, dark skin. I love them all. Division is deeper than people know. You can have the same argument about people in church. Charles said, I'm like this. A light-skinned woman is more conceited and stuck up on their looks than a darker.
Now, there we call them division because we're all light, and I don't feel like. Well, I don't know. It depends on what you call light. I don't feel
I'm
like.
Wait a minute.
Conceited.
I'm not conceited.
We're
confident.
And there's a difference between arrogant and
definitely confident, not conceited.
And then Wayne says dark-skinned men are naturally attracted to light-skinned women.
Not all.
Light-skinned are more attracted to dark-skinned men. They're yin and yang theory. So light and dark.
Not necessarily.
Because you have your good and your bad and your light, but not always. But because you know how they say light skin is where it's at and all that.
I used to feel like that, but everybody's not like that. And I don't have a stuck up attitude. I'm not a snob. I don't think, I'm all that in a bag of chips. It's like, plus I'm a big size woman. We done talk about big.
Matter.
It don't matter, but still is the whole point. Beautiful. Yeah, I'm beautiful, but exactly. I'm not stuck up on myself. That's the whole thing. I don't think, you know what I'm saying?
I think people has the idea that most light-skinned people believe because we are lighter shade that we have this privilege or we are better than everybody else. To me, that's not true. Not every light-skinned woman thinks that way, and most of us is just confident.
Trey said, "Do you think colorism affects all?"
Avis is conceited, Ben, and it's okay.
Tyler, do you think colorism affects all
Let me
skin
tell you
tones?
something.
I'm reading Trey's question.
Girl.
Do you think colorism
Go
affects all skin tones equality?
Yes, equally.
Yeah.
Because it's not just
Equally.
in our
I'm
culture.
sorry.
Yes, equally.
I'm
Because
sorry.
you can have it like in what is it? With
All
the
three of y'all,
Mexicans,
like-
the Hispanics, all that type of cultures. I feel it is within each culture, like within the community, depending upon the shade or the tone or the color of their skin, somebody's going to feel that they're more privileged than others. For real,
Okay.
for real.
Okay. Mr. Peasy said confidence goes a lot farther than ignorance. And I'll take confidence overall.
Exactly.
And then Mr. Connor said all three of y'all are light, but you're not conceited. Thank you.
Thank
I don't
you.
come off.
My sister seems to think differently.
Well,
No, we say Mark.
She seems to think different.
It's okay to be arrogant at times.
But you have some
You
dark
You
complected
think
women
so, Jordy?
who are
Nah.
so beautiful.
Joe Beasy is Jordy.
Yeah.
oh,
Jordan.
really?
Yeah,
Hey. We missed one. Okay.
I have seen some dark complected women who are beautiful. I mean, when I
Beautiful.
say gorgeous, gorgeous. Like, oh my God, look at their skin tone. Like, it's just like, oh, the melanin is just like glowing. Like, honestly. So for someone to think that just because you are dark skinned, like you're not beautiful, or you might have more of an African features, maybe big nose and stuff, like we do as well. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
We can't help, who our ancestors are. However, you can still be dark complected and still have Western European features. So, I mean, if that doesn't matter, I think it all depends on how we say, which is cliche, beauty is in
The
eye of the beholder.
Okay.
Exactly.
I'm getting ready to get some more. Because we missed Mr. Thomas. See y'all. These in the between stuff. LOL. You like what you like.
Right.
It shouldn't matter the shade of the color.
That's
It's just the way of society made the Black community view each other.
Exactly. And that's what we're talking about. And that's how colorism comes into play. Because that's what I mean about how the society placed that upon us. Because then it usually try to sit here. My baby dead. Tina, now here you girl starting tonight. Our consistent faithful followers is starting.
You say get old Jordy.
I know your baby daddy. Don't do that.
Lord have mercy. Our faithfuls are coming here stirring up the pot.
Okay. Cousin, hey, cuz I agree with confidence. And I got you. You say you good old Jordy. I didn't know who you were. Shelton said hallelujah. And he also, Jordy said, good old balance.
Exactly. Balance.
Tina, and then Trey said, dark-skinned people are more likely to convict of a crime than light-skinned people. You think so?
Now, what does y'all guys on that?
I think their view is black is black.
So you feel like it's more?
I'm hush on that one.
I
think
that's more or less racism. So, I mean, of course, they're going to try to lock all black men as much as they can. I mean, that's what it was created for, honestly, to tell you. People took sociology, so.
Lord. And Mr. Connor said, you're right, Avis, but that's the stereotype that's been around for years.
And it started way back, unfortunately, during our slavery times, like I said, that division was already placed there from society. And the thing is, we're trying to break that. My thing is trying to draw attention to it, to break it, because we have to embrace our color in the different shades that we are, in which we have and been trying to do, even within the industry, far as, those that sing, act, or whatever. I know that it's harder for them to get some roles, the more, darker skin tone than those that are a lighter shade. And see, that is where I think also where the thing with Sean and them on the basketball wives, and they talk about suing for defamation of character and all of that stuff.
But they have no grounds to stand on, because the young lady OG who is a lawyer, and she is dark complected,
right?
But she's very highly educated in what they're trying to do, and have this narrative that she's aggressive, that she is, you know what I mean, just like hostile, but she has done nothing, absolutely nothing at all to either one of her co-workers or, the crew. Whereas you had Evelyn, you had Malaysia, people throwing tables, people being aggressive, actually being aggressive.
Yeah, because they like she was treated different.
Exactly. She didn't do anything.
And had repercussions.
But they always called her aggressive or hostile. Or, you know what I mean? Because she was in like women's football. It was type like a women's football.
She was aggressive.
So, but she wasn't aggressive.
Well, I'm going to take comments. It says, why do Black people always got to downplay the Black community? Shake my head. Cousin said, yes, Black is Black. Even when the mixed race, they see them as Black.
Exactly.
Back to
and
Thomas.
That's the thing, trying to see everybody equally.
If you Black ain't got anything to say
about our people, is wow, how you go against your own kind. And that's what we're trying to draw attention to, because that's what some people are saying. And then you got, like Sis said, she said, no Black is not Black to other races. No Black is not Black to other races. And the dark is always portrayed to be the baddest side, just from experience. Thank you for sharing that, guys. Because everybody experienced it.
That come from Jim Crow.
The Jim Crow law, the Jim Crow law? Or you
no, not the Jim Crow law, but the
mentality.
Jim Crow. Because the Jim Crow actually came from where a white man was dressed up in blackface. And, you know what I mean, made to seem like he was aggressive, that he always wanted the white woman and raped the white woman, and, you know what I mean, just aggressive, just, you know what I mean, that was the narrative that they was actually trying to push. So, of course,
oh boy,
you know,
okay, Tracy,
we adapted that same, you know,
mentality.
Exactly.
And Sis is basically saying she has 2 dark-skinned teens and 1 light-skinned one. They have worked at the same job, and the dark-skinned ones were treated different, especially by other races. So that's what that's like some of the things. And like I said, we are actually, yes, because you are correct. We have different nationalities within our bloodline. We have Indian, we have white, we have
she said, our family has many colors and races.
We do have a lot of within our bloodline alone.
Yes.
Which causes us to have the color. Yes, which puts us in a position where we're color. But yes, even outside of us 3, I would feel like I would be the one. And like I said, if you sit there here, they will probably get the privilege quicker than myself because I'm of a darker shade. But that's the thing. We have to embrace one another as a whole, have self-love, uplift, and encourage, and allow us to embrace exactly what our color is and help one another. Not sit here and make nobody feel as if though one is more privileged than the other, or be labeled as difficult or thing. We should be just labeled as the person we are.
Church finger, but we women can be catty. Let's just be real about that. We women definitely can be catty, because like you can go out to a club, and this was a long time for me. But you can go out to a club, and a woman, a dark-skinned woman could, you know what I mean? She could be dressed nice, and I mean looking like a 10 from head to toe. But a light-skinned woman will definitely try to find something about that dark-skinned woman to tear her down.
And that's not cool. And see, that's the thing. And the first thing they look at is color. They'll say dirty Black or stuff like that, or she's ugly, or she's because there's a sense of superiority, not to all, but some of those that are of a lighter shade, which is, like, again, I said, is not cool. That's when we supposed to uphold one another, embrace one another as far as our whole culture as a whole. Not sit here and call because it was already implemented from day one.
Our white counterparts. Yes. Period.
Okay, Church finger. Trey said, my grandmother used to tell us about the paper bag test was often used in Black spaces hiring Black people back in the day. Wow.
Yeah, because
Really?
some right now, I feel like they still use the same. Some, I think still in some instances, I think some people, whether they do it or not, when they look at your name or when they look and see who you are, if they look at you and your shade and how you look and how you present, that's why you have all these tools and equipments how to prepare yourself when you go for interviews and stuff. But most times, some people already have in their mind, they'll look at your name to see if it's of a like the discrimination there. I mean, it's all different type of facets in which you have to look at that you got to take in consideration that works against us. So that's why you had some people that was arguing and fussing about how you name your children and how you'll get a better chance if their name is not sounding of a Black ethnic. That's not cool.
All right, more comments. Mr. Wood said, first we need to truly know ourselves as people, and we are at odds at all levels. You got the Black women, Black men struggling. You got to break the mental cycle of slave thinking.
And that's where it started.
It said, all praise due to Allah. And cousin said, yes, we can. She also said that it's not how we were brought up, but
we as a whole.
Yeah.
And then Sherelle, your bestie, was saying that she had to experience this on numerous occasions in the military. I know that they definitely, and that's why I stay prayed up, because with my son actually coming through that.
Really? In the military though?
You'd be surprised. You be surprised. Not to
Shut up.
them, because again, it's not all, but at the same time, it is there. We cannot draw a blind eye to it because it's there.
They come into the military thinking that way. So their their theory, theology,
superiority
is yes. So
I'm leave that one alone.
I mean, until they are taught something different, I do believe that anybody can be.
Okay, Quentin, you're starting already.
Okay,
but go ahead.
All right.
When they go into the majority, they what?
I think behavior is learned, and I think that any behavior can be unlearned. A new behavior can be
interrupt the pattern.
Exactly. So therefore, if you know, like they say, if you knew better, you do better. So hopefully, you know what I mean, this can definitely be a just a step for you for understanding that for our Black community. So if you don't feel that you have done it in the past, maybe this will show you that maybe that you have, and just try to.
But the thing is, how do one go about dealing with it, seeing the discrimination and the color and the treatment they have? Like, it's hard. It makes it hard when people experience the actual, like we were just saying, like Sis was just saying about insecurity. She noticed one son got, didn't have to go through what her darker sons had to experience. And the thing is, the society placed it there because they were labeled.
But our community keeps it there. And that's the problem.
Mr. Press said that. He said that's what the white man wants us to oppress us. These are expectations.
There are exceptions.
Exactly.
I mean, exceptions.
It's rare.
Exactly.
Mr. Wood said back in the day, they had the brown paper bag test.
You couldn't be darker than a paper bag. And yes, that's what Mr. Trey was telling us on our YouTube site. He was talking about the paper bag test too. Like, that's like, because we are all of different shades. We have to embrace the color of our skin. It doesn't define who we are as a people. We're still one community, one group. We have to embrace that.
Let's say this, because not all Western European people are straight Western European. Some of them do have Africans in their heritage and just don't know.
Yep.
So, I mean, you can look white as a feather, and your ancestors definitely could be from Africa. So that's something that people need to be mindful of as well.
Another comment. So if you was in a setting and experienced colorism against another person being interviewed and you're outnumbered, how would you handle it?
What do you mean outnumbered? It shouldn't even be about outnumbered. It should be about your skills and your qualifications. And if you qualified for the position. Is about you selling yourself for that position. But however,
But
I will say this. I think if the person in the human resources administrator is of Black heritage and they are choosing because of a dark complected or light complected, then yeah, I think sometimes it can happen. I do believe it does happen. However, we will never know because that's not something that they will ever admit to.
But that is the thing that I'm trying to how can I say, bring light to the situation, that we had to be cognizant of those of our counterparts who are of a darker shade because of that stigma that is already placed and already stereotyped, that those who are of a darker tone are not as privileged, and that the ones that who are of a lighter shade or tone feel as if though they are entitled and stuff. But everybody doesn't feel that way. Right. The thing is, we should be already looked at according to, like she said, what you bring far as your background, far as education, your gender. We already got some of that already. That's the other thing that works against us, especially for us women, because we're women. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you got to look at all the different factors that contribute to this as well. So sometimes the industry can make it kind of hard, because look at your models and stuff. Most times it's those of a lighter nature or those of a lighter skin tone. And the thing is, there are trying. You have people, if you can have one, this is my thing. It's a duality and everything. Like I said, the bad, the good. The thing is, if you accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, they bring out people that's of a darker light. I started seeing them how they used to, when they did America's Top Models, how they start embracing those of a darker skin tone color to get it out there. When what is her name? Tyra Banks. I couldn't think of the woman, but yes, and I had enjoyed that for that, because not only did she do that, then she started looking into beyond just even the color of the skin and looking at the flaws of the different people or deformities that or whatever handicaps that was going on as well. So that's the thing. We got to look at things beyond color.
Okay, comment, because they rolling.
Oh my God.
Yes. He's saying, meaning you're on a panel interview with someone and your coworker casting of colorism towards the person being interviewed.
It definitely can happen. It definitely can happen. It does happen.
But that's when we have, like I said, you have to be mindful.
But I do believe that it happens more for the female side than it does
for the male
side. But
okay, I'm gonna take some more. Mr. Thomas said the paper bag thing is messy. Shake my head. Wow, they did us wrong back in the day. I mean, they still doing us wrong, but dang, that's sad. Sherelle said the white men are still trying to suppress us, but we also needed to lead the charge and breaking the victory. I mean,
this vicious cycle and discriminating against them. And that's what I wanted to bring awareness to, is that it's up to us to break this cycle. Because only we can allow it to continue. And the thing is, just bringing light to the situation, because I've seen it. Like, when you get to the point where you're questioning, my color and wanting to go bleach your color, just because you think, even though she might not didn't follow through with it, but because you think it's going to get you more privilege and honor or a way into the door to be able to do what it is that you already that you already know that you're gifted with.
Little Kim.
Like, I shouldn't have to be light skinned to still show my gift.
I have a problem with her, because now I kind of understand.
That's more than bleaching,
have a problem with she did.
It's what she did.
Okay.
Because to me, like Michael Jackson had to do it because of the fact he had skin issues, and it was because of the fire when it burnt his hair and it caught on fire and all the chemicals. So it did something. So I would let that pass. But then Kim, like, for real,
he had that issue before then.
But I'm saying Kim,
she did more than just her skin. She did
the whole
together.
Her plastic surgery, skin color, like, compared to her first album coming out.
I thought she was already pretty.
Exactly. Yeah, and now she just looked like a wax doll.
The Botox and all.
She do. I'm serious.
I don't mean no harm. It doesn't. She look like a wax. I don't know.
I said it. A wax doll. She looks like a doll. Yeah,
But
white
you know,
doll.
dolls are
You-
plastic.
Features. They have features that you can see.
She looked like she can barely talk. Like,
They have features. So I wouldn't compare her to a doll. Definitely not.
not a dog, a doll.
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 Yeah, I know what you said.
Like, she
Oh,
looked like
right.
a doll.
Mm.
Like, you know,
Tight.
yeah,
Face
very
tight.
tight. Like you can, and it's just
Botox,
like
okay.
all that Botox, all that baby.
That's not for
You,
us.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Love who you are. That's
That's not
telling
for
me
us.
you don't have confidence in yourself to say, you know what I'm saying? And she went a whole lighter. I believe she lighter than me and you.
No, I don't think it's just
Yes, she
went
was
more lighter
darker.
again? She was around my complexion.
She was darker, yes. And am I saying I'm saying that she was beautiful already. When she came out killed with the lyrics, she was beautiful already.
Okay.
So, and I think it was the whole thing when
But because of the
Biggie
industry that she was in,
with Faith,
and they were
and Faith was lighter.
Here we
Yes.
go again.
And
So
she changed her hair color, and it was a big old thing with them two. I think they squashed it now that he's been gone for a while. But the whole thing is, it's crazy how we feel like we have to, you know, society in Hollywood, we got to represent.
To say this is what we should look like.
Right.
Like a person wants to be that face. It'd be also in the community of like little people. It's like
I guess it's
everyone
different if we
something.
lose weight, but why would you want to go a whole different color? Like, why? Why would you want to put toxin in your skin?
That's
You
when I
kill
feel like
yourself.
it deals with your own self insecurities, your self esteem,
Exactly.
your self worth. You
Like
have
I
to
said
be
earlier.
confident within whom you
Exactly.
are. But if
Exactly.
people start
That's just
putting
it.
ideas in your mind to make you believe that you got to look a certain way, be a certain way, God created us different, all different shades. That's why he even split when he came even to us talking in different languages.
Right.
Like he wanted us to embrace the difference within us to know that he still loves us all the same.
Yeah.
And we need the quicker that we can realize that we need to love ourselves first and embrace the gifts and talents within us and what we have to offer, then things will be better and we can break this division they try to keep us separated from being able to not be crabs in a bucket, help one another, and be able to build up one another. That's why people are advocate for about less black businesses and all that type of stuff. Yes, but then you get into the thing with the crab mentality, like one business is the other. Somebody might do something different than what the other person do. That makes it different. Nobody, you are entitled. The thing is to still support, regardless. At the end of the day, a black business. That's all it is.
Okay. She didn't said a whole lot, and I totally agree. Kudos.
Jesus, Lord.
Trey said, I used to think that the darker you was, the stronger, the lighter, the weaker. I'm not weak. And he said, thank God for Jesus. Yes, thank God for Jesus. Okay. And now Mr. Thomas saying, what did he say?
He said, accept our own. Love self and love your brother or sister like you love yourself. That's the only way for us to overcome all this mess we going through. Exactly. It's in our culture, as Mr. Woods is saying, when you look at women being used as a symbol and we don't say nothing. The darker woman always been pushed in the back in every singing group when it came back in the day, every single group, when it was determined if you get a job and that's what we're talking about. It was always that. They always will put the look at T-Boz, Left Eye, and Chili. Like,
and I think she was gorgeous.
Yes,
Chili.
Yes.
Gorgeous.
Yes, Ting. Thank God for Jesus. Yes.
Gorgeous.
Did you say the black community needs to do self and separate from the devil? White man controls. And that's the whole thing. They feel that they have the upper hand. And I'm gonna say it like this: if you go back in history, when y'all was just talking about the housemaid and the field
hand versus the house hand.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. We had to make history some kind of way. Like the first black that got an award for a big picture was Gone with the Wind. And what was she? She was in the house. But she was a dark, and they would call her nanny and everything like that. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, Mammy, yeah. Mammy. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? She had to pave the way for us
To open
now
that
to
avenue,
open that
yes.
door instead of saying, oh, shunning on our people. Honey, she was the first to open the door. And for her people, they were talking about her because she was shunned, because they are saying, look, we trying to get out of that mentality.
She couldn't even accept the award that she had.
had. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that was crazy. And then Tina said, look at Destiny Child. Beyonce was not the best looking one. Lord,
No.
but
she wasn't, because I believe Kelly was.
Wasn't Latoya in there
Kelly
too?
is.
Latoya Luckett was in there too.
Latoya
Luckett. Pretty, but even though she's light skinned,
Latavia, pretty.
Yes, pretty.
Yes.
Yes.
And Michelle was pretty. To me, she was more soft spoken.
Yes, she was.
She was more soft spoken.
She was okay. Yeah.
She just had a unique voice. Let's put it that way. But I mean, still, you just gotta know what works for you. But the thing is embracing that, and we coming together as a united front to draw attention to this stereotype, this stigma that is placed that, okay, just because you have a lighter tone, that it discredit me as a person of a darker shade to say I don't carry the same gifts that you have, or I can't have the same talent that you have, or I gotta feel like it puts us in a position where we gotta be competitive, and we shouldn't have to go through it. We should only be competitive about our gift, our talent, our education.
I'm gonna tell you who do it. Who's a big person that does that, and I love him as a producer, but I'm gonna tell you who does it.
Oliver.
No,
I don't know. He's no.
P. Diddy, Sean Puffy Combs. He's more of in your face. It has to be beautiful. You have to look a certain way, even if you sound off the chain. Like if you're big, he don't want that, and you got to look a certain way. Like the people want you to look a certain way, and then he had
to them sex.
That's how he feels. And then he did have a couple. The one that the girls were darker, and they can sing. They can sing. I'm telling you, sellout. Yeah, but they can sing. It's just the whole point. I just feel like this. You sitting up here more of the brand. I understand your brand, but you're not looking at the gifts that they have.
That's what I'm talking about.
You're looking at, you don't look this way.
To them, it's commodity. They looking at what they.
He's just as bad as the white man, and he just as dark. So what's the big deal? You understand what I'm saying? He's no better than the white man.
And then the thing is, look at the audience that is here to the younger people.
But he's supposed to be helping us.
Tap dance anywhere. That's what he had to do it in Mason. Wasn't nobody gonna,
I bet Jermaine Dupri did it too. They all had to come up some type of way. Trey said happy women's and happy women's History Month, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you
so
much.
Yes, I have to do that now. I have to read up on history. But I wanted to share that history because what is her name? Her name was Hattie McDaniels.
Yes,
Hattie McDaniels. That's a little bit of history for y'all. Hattie McDaniels was the first that got the award, and she, she was shunned for what she did. And I just feel like that's a shame. Like you trying to open doors for everybody, and she was shunned.
And that was all the characters that they actually
had.
MGM, that's what I mean. Those big Fox.
He said,
studios. That's the only thing that they
sell out. They don't do nothing but make themselves richer. Some of them open doors. I can't per se agree with that, but because you do have some. Viola Davis.
Love her.
But you know what though? This is what they do. They compare her to Meryl Streep. They say, she's a black Meryl Streep. Why can't she just be? Why can't she just be
Viola Davis? I love her, y'all.
Exactly.
Now I don't want to take anything. I don't want to take anything from Meryl Streep. I mean,
I like her too.
Yes, and I remember when they said that was out in the public.
Viola Davis is Viola Davis, and I mean,
why did she got to be compared to Meryl Streep?
Exactly.
She's of her own. If you put them together, I'm going to look at them totally different. And I appreciate Meryl Streep, some of Meryl Streep movies, but at the same time, There are two different individuals, and I'm looking at their gift and their talent.
Right.
They both have something to offer and bring to the table.
Exactly.
So I'm going to look at them according to each as they are as an individual.
Well, financially, of course.
But of course, Meryl Streep going to get more.
Exactly.
So that's the reality of that.
Right.
On the other side of it.
She's
Right.
at a high caliber as well, but still they will make millions less.
Right.
The Black community will make, but that's on the racism side. We're talking about
The colorism. Yes.
Right.
Yes. But yes, it's just more or less we just have to, I feel, as a culture, especially us women with different shades of color, we go from a wide range of different shades with not only in our community, within the what's the name community, the Hispanics, the Mexicans, the Western Indians, well, the Hispanics, Latinos,
the
that's
browns,
what I was trying to
the
get out.
yellows,
Yes, all those
rainbow,
ethnic, yes. Like we have to embrace those.
Oh God.
Those cultures. We have to embrace those colors. We all have something to offer and give. And my thing is, nobody's gonna make me feel less than. I don't care at the end of the day. Like I said, it is about confidence, not arrogance. But confidence, self-love, and knowing who you are. We're not here to attack somebody else or make somebody else feel like that.
Believe it or not, the kids today, before a pandemic and COVID hit real hard, you had it in school. You literally had it in school. Some people that I've known had it in school right here in our community. I'm not going to say no name, but it was in a community middle school, Salisbury Middle.
No. What's not in that community?
Yeah, but I'm just saying they feel like if you're not in the crowd as far as like them, if you too light, too long with the hair, if it's yours, they ready to beat your tail, and it's all about jealousy.
In our own community, or
yes, and our own. Even Danielle had put something up about her daughter. Her daughter's light skinned just like her. And they got into a fight, and she wasn't the only one. Yes, that's why she was up on news, because they was trying to come for her daughter.
Oh, I remember when that broke out, but that was because of I didn't think that was because of the color, though. Was it?
The girls were jealous over her. Anything too light, too long, they think they pretty. Yes,
I didn't know that's why that broke out was because of that.
I heard light-skinned women go.
The parents need to. They
equip them with the tools to embrace the color of their
that they're beautiful. Somebody is not telling them that.
Trey said, I heard light-skinned women got bank. Y'all need my Cash App. Honey,
you said what now?
I heard light-skinned women got bank. Y'all need my cash. Oh, you want us to send you some money?
Right.
Oh, okay.
He said we got bank.
Okay.
But I'm telling the truth. It's just like
mouth.
Tina crazy.
We got mouth.
We do got mouth.
Oh, definitely.
I think that's across for our whole culture. I
think it's not just not like light-skinned people. It doesn't stop there. It's on the whole spectrum.
Yes.
So I think that's like a personality trait. Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely. She said
the fighting. Yes.
That too.
Yes.
That too.
Yes.
But that's the thing. But they'll look at it quick to say that,
that like they're aggressive, and as we, it's not looked at as bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Definitely another subject. Yes.
Yeah, you are not here, girl. You are not here, girl. Lord have mercy.
But yes, my thing is, if we as a community, as I simply am going to just say, just embrace all walks, all within our community, all shades, and remove the division within ourselves, within our own community, it will break the separation that society try to place on us. And that we work and walk in our gifts. Everybody has something to offer. You just got to know what you have to offer and have confidence that you'll be able to execute it. Walk in confidence. Walk in who God purposely destined you to be. So that's what I'm saying.
Let me say this, because again, on the Basketball Wife, for those who have watched Ratchet TV,
you heard, she said.
Denise said yes on A's, love the hair.
Thank you, baby. Thank
Got
you.
them bang cuts.
Yeah, bang,
Wait,
not the
uh-uh.
bang. But hold on. But what I want to say,
Bang,
like
bang,
on the
bang.
Basketball Wives, where Jackie, she had a darker complected daughter and also a light skinned daughter, and she treated her dark complected daughter way differently than she did her light skinned daughter. And her oldest daughter, I think her name is Takiri.
What?
And Takiri actually wrote a book about this, about how her mother treated her. Yeah. So I do believe that, I mean, it definitely can start with the parents.
That too. Now,
They
that much
need
is
to,
true.
regardless of what, that is still your child. And you know what I mean, encourage them, you know what I mean, and pour into them.
So let them know how beautiful they are.
Pour into them confidence that you are beautiful, who you are.
But that is something to be said about the parent, though.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Like if you're causing that own division within your own household and bringing that child up, because
that's their mindset.
Wow.
Okay, Trey said interracial dating causes a lot of colorism as well.
Yeah, I used to say that. Yeah, I can see that.
I used to say
that. Hey, ladybugs. Yeah, I can see how.
But I think ignorance. It is a certain form of ignorance that we definitely do, that we are either conscious of, unconscious of, or not aware of, and we have to be more aware of it, because of representation, such as Naomi Campbell.
Yeah,
beautiful black queen. And sometimes she doesn't act. I'm not gonna say act because she's not an actor; she's a model. But she does not. Her behavior sometimes is not the best. So I think sometimes she can be a bad representation of the darker complected community as far as women. And they look at Tyra Banks as maybe lighter complected with the beautiful eyes, and she's trying to always take the high ground, whereas, you know what I mean, she's not always that nice either. So
yeah, she could date a lot of them all.
Okay, Mr. West said black women needs to embrace self-love
That's
first.
what I keep saying.
Insecurity with black women is at all time level. A lot of women don't know how to love themselves. They cause empty objects.
They use empty objects for happiness.
Let me hold on.
Thank you.
Let me say this, and this is for all black women, all shades.
Please,
I want to say this. I do believe our black men, have got to do that as well.
Yes.
Amen.
Period.
Yes.
Amen.
Like they have to embrace like the different
period.
Yes, shades of color of the women, which
regardless.
Some do, because some do have that preference.
It's okay to have a preference, but I mean, to kind of beat them down or to make them feel less than, or you know what I mean, or not worthy of their time, and you know, for them to see them go to, you know what I mean, a different race, and here we are doing the best that we can for them, helping them and providing, bearing their children, and then for us to be turned around. So I do believe that it starts with the parents. Parents, you know, mothers and fathers, teach your children, your man child.
That's like showing favoritism. Like you can't.
That black is beautiful.
Yes, that any type of shade of black is beautiful.
Period.
And that is the thing. You got to be careful of the line that you draw, and that's why I usually, when it comes to treating my children, I treat them equally. Sometimes they might feel that sometimes it's done subconsciously or unconsciously, I'm not sure, whichever one you want to pick when it comes to like picking favorites, but it can also carry into the color factor. So we have to be mindful of those things and be cognizant that we give them more. Like I've always taught mine to embrace their flaws, embrace the things that they try to say negative about you. So then that way, when you hear something negative, it doesn't strike a nerve to cause you to act out of character either. But I mean, you already know what I'm talking about on that.
It's that black don't crack. No, it doesn't. We're beautiful.
Yes, and we all beautiful in our own rights. And the thing is,
if we maintain ourselves,
yes, and not trying to alter it so much, because I think we do age. Like sometimes, I mean, it does feel nice when I can go out with my children and they say, or when my sisters and everybody say that we look like their sisters and stuff like that.
Amen.
That means we're doing what we naturally do. Some cultures have different things that work for them in their culture that might not work for our culture. So it's like, embrace it.
Botox did not work for us.
Yeah, no, I don't have to do Botox. My cheeks is already high as it already can be. But the thing is, embrace. My final thoughts is please, let's stop with the division. Let's come together and let's just love one another. And it starts with loving ourselves first. Period. Your final thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. Love yourself so you can love others. You have to first give self-love. If you don't give self-love, how can you love somebody? That's where it starts first. And it also always starts at home.
Definitely.
Yes.
It starts at home.
And they realize that a lot of some children are not receiving it at home. So
that's
of
the other
course,
thing.
When they get into these TikToks, like everybody wants to be a star now, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's the trend, yes.
Of course, they want to be the trend, and you know what I mean. They got
because you never know when they need a new trendsetter and they make it big or whatever the case may have you. Exactly. But come in your own way, your own right. I've gotten to a place where I don't feel threatened by anyone. That's when it's like, compare. Don't feel threatened because guess what? I applaud them in their rights. Exactly. They have something to offer just as much as the next person. I embrace who I am. I'm no longer here to people please anybody. I walk in integrity and I walk with character. So with that even being said, that means I walk by treating other people's kind, having empathy towards others, being trustworthy, walking with some type of moral compass that is set, which for me exactly is in love. Meaning I don't sit here and dismiss or look at anyone based upon their economical background, their sexual preference, whatever it is that they choose to be, do, or whatever. I have to respect the person for where they are, who they are. Everybody growth spectrum meter is different. Everybody's going to learn different things at different times and elevate. It's not up to us. It's whatever their relationship is with Christ. So it's nice like this. And we need to understand.
It's one of those.
Embrace who you are and love on you.
I'm gonna say like this.
Church is over. Church is over. May the Lord watch.
I'm gonna say this because you got people that's out here, and I'm gonna say it like this. That are still cotton picking niggers.
Oh gosh, no, she didn't. Woo! She don't leave it to her.
Let's call it what it is.
Oh Jesus!
Get out of that mentality.
Okay, so what is a cotton picking nigger?
And here she goes. Go sign. This is why I can't with these two. I cannot. It's time to go. It's time to go.
May the Lord
Church is over. We will catch y'all next week. They're gonna elaborate that on another time.
We can tell that could be a 2-hour segment. I swear to
God today. Church is definitely over. Thank you for joining us. Y'all have a blessed week.
Oh
my God!
Let me
join us next week.
Wait a minute.
Please.
I want to know. We want to know.
Where do you think that came from, though?
On the white
people in the field.
Yes.
Okay. And so where do you think that house nigga came from?
Yes.
Okay. Exactly.
Okay.
So all right. There's 2 different types of people. Okay.
All right, y'all. Yes. Y'all done heard
Thank you for joining us. That was my topic for this week. Next week is back to sis. And I believe she already has a topic waiting for us. What is it, sis?
Stop being.
I'll talk because she just got me thrown. Y'all have a good night.
Be blessed.
Yeah. Night.
Ooh, Lord Jesus. My God.
Did you just say